I can't make him choose between his family and me the same way that if he were ever to ask me to choose between my family and him, I mean, I couldn't.
Seems to me as if somebody's being rather hypocritical, because as far as I'm concerned, Jen wanted Rishi to go against his family for her, but now she's saying that if the shoe wasn't on the foot, I wouldn't choose him over my family. Well, that is hypocritical. And to be honest with you, you already did actually choose him over your family anyway, because you're the one that legit chose to fly all the way to India multiple times to be with this man. In fact, you even chose to fly to India and actually live there with him for, I guess, the foreseeable future. So in reality, why is she saying that? It really doesn't make any sense. Now, of course, just because she moves to a different country doesn't mean that she can't still have a communication with her family and her friends. I absolutely get that. But she was warned by her friends, she was warned by her family multiple times, and she never listened. Why? Because Jen does what Jen wants to do. So her saying that she understands and she would never leave her family for him is absolute bullcrap and hypocritical. Like, I don't know what you're playing at. But anyway, we continue.
I think Rishi didn't stand up to his mother for you.
Yep.
I think he was a coward.
Basically, like, if his son also, like, stopping her, like, to go over there to meet Osama, so it means, like, he's coward too. No, he's not coward, basically.
I mean, listen, to be honest with you, I did actually like Rishi's response. He was saying that at the end of the day, just because I didn't do this and that, it doesn't mean that I'm a coward, because my parents are literally just trying to protect me the same way your son was trying to protect you.
He's just concerned about you. So my mom is, like, concerned about me as well.
I think.
There you go, boom, bam. But I tell you what, Debbie does not know how to keep the same energy. To be honest with you, Debbie really got on my nerves throughout the whole bloody thing for the most part.
I think the way you let Jen go, and it's like, I have to listen to my mother. There was no passion. Where was your passion?
There was no passion. Where was your passion? I'm sorry, I didn't realize you was actually in this relationship. But to be fair though, I can't believe I'm saying this, but if you watched the show, you saw him actually get emotional after his parents told him, or his mum told him, that he can't be with Jen. So to be honest with you, I don't know what Debbie was watching, but there was a level of emotion. And to be fair, throughout the whole season, Rishi refused to let Jen go. Even when she went, he was still saying there's still hope. So I don't know why she's talking about passion, that. Clearly, you didn't watch the bloody season, because you would know that his passion was there. It's just that when it comes to him standing up against his family, it just isn't as simple as 1, 2, 3, which of course is 100% Rishi's fault. But the way Debbie carries herself in this whole thing is not needed.
You don't defend your woman, bro.
Well, on this case, like, she need to go back because...
What's to come next is so freaking unneeded.
Yeah. She need to go back. It's like, no, she didn't need to go back.
Bro,
Like, who the hell does Debbie think she is? What is it? She's 57, 67, 87. Doesn't matter. But the fact is, though, a woman at her age should be mature enough to not want to mock someone. I mean, for the years I have watched 90 Day Fiancé, well, all the scenes that I have seen, I have never come across any cast member mock another person's accent just because they're different, just because they come from a different country where their language is not the first language. It's crazy because a lot of people keep throwing out there about how Debbie is a predator. People throwing out there how her son comes up with racist vibes and energy, and also that whenever Debbie was insulting Osama, she'd always come through with things that were very insulting. You know, that could easily be, you know, in that cross of racist or XYZ, right? And it's just crazy because when I see in this part here, like the part 2 as a whole, the way she's carried herself is just disgusting, despicable, to be honest with you. I never want to see Debbie again. Her character's really coming out. And I've said this before on the live stream, I genuinely think that she was lying about some of the things that went down with her in the summer, in my opinion. But hey, man, you know what, Debs? You carry on being the way you're going. You're going to end up dying alone anyway, because who the hell's going to want to be with someone like you? Someone who wants to take the piss out of someone else's accent. You know what I mean? Somebody that wants to just talk absolute smack, but yet is stupid enough to want to travel all the way to Morocco to be with a man that is old enough to be her freaking grandchild. The guy's younger than your own freaking flesh, than your own bloody son. Anyway, whatever, innit? Yeah, that one got heated.
you say a lot of words and you like just dance in circles for nothing. Like, just say what you have to say.
I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Like, Gabe, I hate to say it, but Gabe came through with a lot of gems this episode, to be fair. The last 2 episodes, he's come in with some very good questions and he's come out with some very good points, which is something that I really do appreciate because I do feel like Gabe is speaking for us a little bit to a certain degree, you know what I mean? But yeah, I've been saying the whole time, Rishi, we've all been saying it. Rishi loves to talk in circles. I call him the salesman, you know what I mean? But anyway, we continue.
It's not a language barrier. He knows because I ain't gonna lie, I be doing the same thing. Like if I don't want to explain myself, my Spanish gets a lot worse.
I mean, listen, I've been saying it for a long time that when it comes to Rishi and some other people as well from the past and present, when they talk sometimes, I don't think language barriers is even an issue with communication. They just know what they're saying and they want to say it in a certain way to be able to get away with it. To be honest with you, Dave definitely hit the nail on the head with that one. But anyway, we continue.
I don't know what's going to happen, but we're not engaged.
Do you consider Jen your fiance or just your girlfriend?
I think fiance still.
How can one say no and one says yes? Talk about being on 2 different bloody pages, but we continue.
Family know that you guys are engaged, yes or no? And that's all. Now, at this moment.
Yes, we already discussed about it. Like when.
I mean, nobody even believed this guy. I know I didn't believe this guy at this moment in time. When my man said, yes, I was like, okay, buddy, whatever you say. The hesitation of saying yes said it all. But then this came along.
Randy told about everyone that we got engaged 2 years before.
No, I'm talking about recently.
You know what I mean? Like, the way this guy thought he was being smart, he was tracking back to 2 years ago. God damn, 2 years ago. That's a madness, you know, to think it's been that long. They must have filmed this over a long duration of time as well. But god damn, anyway, we continue.
Recently, yeah.
Is your mom there?
Okay.
I'd like to ask your mom that question.
Where's your
You know what I mean? Because Rishi's got issues. I think there's something missing here somewhere. I just don't really understand the guy, to be honest with you, for the most part. Like, I don't know why he gets off the idea of lying, you know? Like, why he gets off the idea of just saying things that aren't true. Like, what is wrong with this guy? I just don't understand his angle. He's definitely one of the most confusing cast members I've come across. It makes no sense. I don't know. I don't even know if he even makes any sense to himself.
us to be engaged again? He would have to be willing to leave his mom's house. He does not want to leave his mother's house, okay? He would love to build on top of the roof a place for us to live, and no.
You know, it's just crazy though, isn't it? Like, why are we having this conversation? Like, you broke up with him, right? You broke up with him, but then you went back to India for a party, and then you just happened to just cross paths again. And then when you decided to cross paths again, you then decided to sleep together. And now we're having a conversation about the possibilities of making things work. But yet you know things won't work because you know that he won't leave his family because he's the only person in the family who's actually earning money to look after the whole family. Like, why is this conversation being taken so seriously? That's the thing that I can't fathom, to be honest with you. Like, make it make sense. But you can't make sense out of people who are just... I don't have any kind words or what I was going to say there, to be honest. I can't ever say that word. But the bottom line is that you and Rishi can never be together. We've already established that. So why you two have rekindled things makes no sense. And that's that. That is that.
कहना है कि वो अभी वापस से एंगेजमेंट हो गई हुई है
No, नहीं
इसके बारे में कोई
Uh-oh, Rishi's been caught on a lie again. Because all Rishi does is lie. I mean, when is Rishi ever going to know to just be honest? You know what? Here's the thing. How can he say that he loves Jen? How can he say that he wants to be with Jen if he can never be true with Jen? You know, real, pure, authentic love comes from truth. Pure truth, honesty. Fake, toxic, anything that just isn't true love comes from lies. And Rishi is that. That's why his relationship with Jen can never, ever realistically ever work because he doesn't know how to be truthful. You know, for me personally, the only way you could really love someone is if you're able to handle them when they are telling you the honest goddamn truth, no matter how hard it is for you to hear the truth, you are willing to accept that they're going to tell you the truth no matter what it is. That's when you know you love someone, because you can accept them being truthful to you at no limit. That's just my opinion. I think that if you're in a situation where you'd prefer that person that lied to you, or you think it's best to lie to them, or no, No. It's like when you're a parent and you don't tell your kids the full truth because it's too soon. They're too young, and then they find out later on anyway, and then they're annoyed you for not telling them. I'm not saying that as a parent you don't love your child, because in your eyes you're thinking that you're trying to protect them, and I completely respect, I get that. But taking it first hand from someone that's been through experience of not being told things sooner and then finding out on my own accord, the damage is real. It's actually better to tell them as soon as possible, to be honest with you. I mean, listen, in the world that we live in, if we can be honest straight away to the people that we love, whether it be our family members, our children, or our partner, if we can tell them off the bat, we are only making them stronger, to be honest with you. They may resent us for a minute, they may have like for a minute, but in reality, we're just making them stronger, because the more people get used to being told the core hard truth, in the end, you start to be able to be resilient to a lot of things. That should make sense. It makes sense to me. But anyway, continue. Live by your truth, people. Come on now.
आप होते चलो साल 6 महीने का वो होता तो हम हाँ कर लेते, लेकिन हमने सुन के और शॉर्ट हो गए हम तो इतने उम्र को.
I mean, do you know what though? I'm not gonna say just yet. Actually, hold on a minute.
So if we were 6 months to a year apart, I mean, that's just absurd. I'm sorry. Like, I just can't.
आप इतनी स्मार्ट हो, कोई वो नहीं है आप में कमी, बस एज की कमी है, नहीं तो हम ही.
You know, what is actually wrong? What is wrong with your parents wanting you to be with someone that can provide you children? What's wrong with that? Unless you tell your parents, because see, this is where the conversation isn't had. Let's say Rishi told his parents that he does not want children, and they were like, no, you must marry someone that can give you children because you will have children. That is a different conversation. That is a conversation where we could be like, well, his parents are wrong because they cannot tell him they cannot tell him to have children if he doesn't want them. But in this situation here, if Rishi has obviously made it clear that he wants to have children, and the parents are like, well, if you want to have children, then why are you marrying someone who can't give you that? It makes a lot of sense for them to not want to accept him to be with someone that cannot provide children. 100%, because there are some people in his life who will throw away the opportunity to have children just to be with someone who doesn't want children. And I don't believe in that. I mean, I'm one of those people personally, I don't want children, right? But I would never be with someone that wants kids, because I would never want to take that away from them. It doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? Like, that's just ridiculous selfishness, you see what I'm saying? So, to be honest with you, is there anything, remove culture, remove religion out of it. If anything, I'm going to have to side with the parents of the fact that they just don't want their son to be with someone who cannot provide them, who cannot provide him, to be more in particular, with children.
Yeah, we've heard that, but thanks for reiterating it.
It's just mad because Jen gets all emotional just because they keep talking about age. Oh, thanks for age shaming me, blah, blah, blah. But lady, you know how old you are. You know that you're going in a relationship with someone that's younger than you. You know that your age is the factor, is the reason why you're together. So, like, why are you not immune to it? But either way, though, like, why are you so touched about your age for all of a sudden? You know what I've realized about this tale the most, though? Some of the cast members, you know, people like Jen, Debbie, Nicole, yeah, they have changed their energy. You know, because throughout the season, Jen was all like, not submissive, but she wasn't so outspoken. It was her friends. She didn't even have much of an attitude. She was quite humble. It was her friends that had the attitude and all that kind of stuff. But now in the tale, because now she's back in America, and she's got all everyone around her, she's got this bark. Debbie's the same. She didn't have that back in Morocco, but now she's back home. But everyone, she's got this bark. I mean, don't get me wrong. Debbie had moments where she had the bark. I'm not going to say she didn't. But now it's like stronger because they're back in America. You see what I'm saying? Nicole has that thing where now I'm around everybody else, I can use everyone to gang up on my husband. Make that make sense. You see what I'm saying? Make it make sense. It's like sometimes when people go back home, they're like, well, now in my homeland, I can be tough again. Or now I'm around people who know me or understand me because we're all in the same place. Like, yeah, we're just going to be all, man. That's one of the things I hate about the tales, man. They're never realistic, man. Like, people just want to target people. I guess this is why I respect Gabe the most out of this tale, because he hasn't been on a side of just the Americans. He's been on both. He tried to protect his name again? Lazy eyes. That wasn't very nice, was it? What's his name again? Yeah, the guy with Debs, man. Osama. You know what I'm saying? He was trying to be cordial about that. You know what I mean? Anyway, whatever. Let's continue.
मैं उसके साथ शादी करने वाला हूँ मे बी 6 महीने या 1 साल के अंदर में
Okay, he said it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Rishi finally tells the family that he's going to marry Jen.
I don't know if I should be happy about that or not.
नहीं नहीं शादी नहीं कर सकता है
नहीं हम इस चीज को स्वीकार नहीं कर सकते
She said
You know, there was a very good point that Tim and Veronica, they made a very good point that it's very difficult for Rishi because he's in a situation where he's the only person that is looking after the whole family. He's the one that works, brings all the money in, looks after the whole family shebang. And Jen wants him to leave his family to go live with him somewhere, was in Mumbai, right? And for him to then pay bills in one property, whilst also paying the bills in another property, providing food and all that thing, it's nuts. I will say this though, it's kind of crazy because Rishi has not once ever said, you know what, okay, we can get married and you can live in this place. I still got to be able to look after my but can you provide the bills for our location? He hasn't said that, do you know what I'm saying? So obviously he's someone that is definitely a provider and he wants to provide on both ends, but it's never going to happen. It's not physically possible because he's not going to leave his family, because if he leaves his family, then his family have nothing, which is extremely sad. Which is even more sad why Jen decided to throw his family under the bus by talking about his brother and all that kind of stuff. The way I look at it, Rishi needs to just find someone that's going to be willing to accept that he needs to live at home and they can live at home with him and, you know, look after the family with him, basically. Jen's never going to do that. So that's why I never understand why Rishi is so adamant to want to be with Jen, even though Jen, like, legit, Jen doesn't bring anything to the table that's going to benefit him. That's the crazy part. Nothing to the table that's going to benefit him in terms of looking at his family. Yeah, she may come across, she may come with like money and whatever from like the US or that kind of stuff, but generally speaking, based on the requirements needed for him to look after his family, she brings none of that. She doesn't want nothing to do with it. So he needs to find someone that's going to bring that to the table. Stop wasting his time and wasting Jen's time, and Jen needs to stop wasting her own goddamn time too, but she's a donor as well for it. Well, you guys let me know what you're thinking down below in the comment section. We'll talk about it. Don't forget to like, sub, and of course,